Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Margaret Pinard and you're on BookTube. Thanks for coming by. Glad to have you here today. It's a strange night for me to be live on my channel, so what is the big occasion? We're going to get to my special guest in just a second, but first, let me tell you what this is. It's the Patreon book chat for the month of May. What is that about? Well, this is made possible by the patrons, lovely people in the book club tier. So if you're curious about that, I will pop the link in the chat so you can check it out. For the month of May, I wanted to highlight someone who always does something in May that's pretty special, publishes something in honor of his mother. So what you're going to see is a new publication and then just a lot of tomfoolery between Mr. J.D. Estrada and myself. So before I give you his bio, which is a little bit special, let me first tell you coming attractions, just so you don't forget. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be on SD Houston's channel for the Productivity Pyramid Wars at 7 a.m. my time, so you know it's got to be good. And then following that, it will be on my channel. I'm leading a reading sprint for May of the Moderns, which is the readathon going on during May. So that's tomorrow morning. But for today, let me introduce the special guest, a fantastic author-tuber, bookstagrammer, indie author, and extraordinaire member of the community, J.D. Estrada. Where's the lie? Let me read this list. He's worked in advertising for years. He shares a birthday with Alfred Hitchcock and Fidel Castro. He studied psychology. He's an avid reader of science fiction and fantasy. His favorite band is Pearl Jam. He's born in Puerto Rico. He bodyboards. He plays the guitar. And he's going to wear the same brown plaid shirt that he always wears on my channel. Which one's the lie? Welcome, JD!
Oh, you just threw me under the bus with the flag. Come on. It's me trying to look classy and grungy at the same time. All right, come on.
So
But
all of those were true except for the last one because he's got a different shirt. What are you sporting? NaNoWriMo. Nice.
This is from the year that I actually won.
Woohoo!
And also to send a shout out to the people who are still doing NaNoWriMo. I can do Camp Nano, but I can't do full Nano because November is always a crazy ass month for me. I always find it fascinating that people can find, the time to that, because I've been so screwed over in like so many jobs and so many industries. No matter what, November is bad shit. The only year that I did it, I was pushing myself so hard on so many levels that I was like, I'm never doing this ever again.
Here's to winning at least once. Cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
What I've done instead, is I do Camp Nano Estrada, which is basically Camp Nano on my terms. So basically, I do NaNoWriMo or several goals that I have for the month, and I do it on my terms. That's something that I've done after I did NaNoWriMo. I hate when they say that.
Who says that? No one says that.
A lot of people do say it. The correct way is NaNoWriMo Writer Month, blah blah blah. The only exceptions that I think accept is saying GIF instead of GIF. The creator of the GIF calls it a GIF, but to me, it should always be a GIF.
Victory is mine. I call it a GIF.
So I'm GIF that keeps on GIFing.
Hello to the people in the chat. Shannon was first, so she's got the #1 medal, which is adorable. Lauren, hello. Anita, yay, nice to see you. Jenna, the solo writer, hello to the like button. JC, a lot of these people are folks who just hopped over from Barrett Lurie and the critique group live stream, so it's awesome. I put my thing in the chat, and then we had Sandy from Ms. Reads a Lot, Ben as well. Hi everyone. Andrea Donoso, yay, and our friend Joe. Yay. So hello to everyone in the chat. I'm supposed to be editing. I think I need to unwind from work instead and listen here more. Yes, I agree.
Yes,
so welcome to the book chat. Pull up a drink. I am drinking sherry because that just seems to be very May of the Moderns to me, even though it's in the wrong glass. Whatever. What are you drinking, JD?
I'm drinking oolong tea.
Perfect.
Because I just got done working, and I also have water. in a special mug.
Yay!
I was got to give a shout out to my Go Indie peeps.
Nice. Go Indy now. Joe Compton in the chat. So we've got the lie. The lie was the last one. You're not wearing the brown plaid shirt, but everything in that bio otherwise was true. So if you have questions, let us know.
You could have said, you could have also mentioned that I am a banana secret agent.
Yes.
But that's I don't think that's in my Amazon bio. I have to update it.
Double O bananas.
And I have to bring back Double O bananas. A lot of people have been going like, where is he?
I know. So I'm popping where you can get your physical books in the chat because we love to support an indie bookstore. We just had Indie Bookstore Day, and you want to tell us a little bit about Tazas y Portadas?
Tazas y Portadas is actually a small bookstore in Puerto Rico. Lovely people. The pandemic has been endlessly better thanks to all the people that I've connected, thanks to them and live shows that I've done with them. I actually had some not so savory experiences with bookstores in Puerto Rico. So I was wary of taking my books back. Lisbeth, the owner of Tazas y Portadas, is super wonderful. I don't know how many hugs I stole during the Puerto Rico Comic-Con. It's a nice, cozy little place. She does support a lot of local indie authors. My latest release will actually not be in the store because it's all English, but the all Spanish version, as soon as I have it done, that's what I'm going to be sending over. Plus other stuff in Spanish that I've been promising for years, and I shall finally deliver.
And what number is that going to be?
The idea is that my 20th release will be 2020. So,
yay!
But the latest release is 2020. So why are these names similar? So a couple of years back, I released a bilingual collection called 2020. It's got 20 pieces in English, 20 pieces in Spanish. There's a bilingual poem in the middle that transitions from one language to the other. It was just me trying to flex as many muscles as possible in terms of creativity and whatnot. It actually has one of my oldest short stories. I'm not going to say one of my best short stories, but something that I actually submitted for competition. And before I was known as JD Estrada, my sobriquet was Eddie James Cornell, which is Eddie from Eddie. This is the first time I ever mentioned this. So
my goodness.
This is an exclusive for the Pinar channel.
All right. So Eddie is obviously a tribute to Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder, James from Maynard James Keenan, Cornell from Chris Cornell. If you want to see how much of a grunge kid I am, there you go. I know Tool is metal or prog metal or whatever, but still 90s as hell.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's the book that is coming. That's the book that is just published for Sunday.
The one that I published for Sunday was 2020. And some people have asked me, why am I doing all English and all Spanish versions? Because not everyone reads English and not everyone reads Spanish. And there are some pieces in either language that I'm extremely proud about. The only poem that's won me a prize is actually in 2020 and now in 2020. It's called Marquis de Sade. It's just a little. It's not steamy. It's not steamy. The thing is, the fun part about that poem, apart from I think it's just a fun little rhyme. But I went to watch Quills with Jeffrey Rush and Ewan McGregor, I think.
Wow. Okay.
And Kate Winslet, if I'm not mistaken. It's a really good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. It's intense. I got out of the movie and my brain was buzzing. So I literally, in the movie theater, I got a napkin and I wrote the damn thing down. Then I edited it a little bit and it was done. And it's won me prizes like in a couple of places. And I'm like, hey.
Nice. So, hey, we just heard that Critique Group Live is running a contest for flash fiction and poetry with $100 prizes for each in June. So if anyone else needs to know about that, head on over to Critique Group Live on YouTube or Facebook.
I shall send me the link later.
Okay. All right.
Extra $100. That's a fancy dinner. That's a really fancy dinner.
Right, right, right.
with Jerez.
Yeah, exactly. Since we're being all fancy tonight.
Yeah. So on the English side, there are some pieces. There are some pieces that I've always suspected might get me in a bit of trouble because they're very touchy subjects, and so I revisited some of the pieces in English and I updated them. Specifically, one called "The Pejorative Equivalent of Voldemort." It,
Pejorative equivalent of Voldemort? Okay.
the N word. And it's me. It's an essay about that word and its usage, and just the problems that we have with it. Boiling everything down, the main message is that some people think that they deserve a medal for not using the word, but still treating people like garbage. And I've
Mm.
always had a big issue with that. It's like I would never use that word. Yeah, but you would treat people like crap. So I don't know why you feel so special. Um, but still, the usage of the word gets people riled up, especially during these times. So that piece and other pieces I did update slightly. And I think one of the best short stories I've ever written is on there. It's called Journeyman, about a boxer. I'm a big fan of boxing, even though I'm not watching it constantly. And I wanted a journeyman is one of those older fighters that you could call him a gatekeeper. They put him with younger opposition to either bump up their resume or to test the waters. And I've seen more than one fight where the guy's in his 40s, and it's a full contact sport. So obviously, people are going to, oh yes, the young lion is going to win, but experience.
Right.
And I wanted to explore
Wages of
that.
experience.
Yeah, I wanted to explore that a bit more. It has a bit of a feel like if anyone's ever watched the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, it has that feel, and I wanted that just to really explore one of those fights that no one ever watches, and that can be a glorious moment for someone or tragic. You never know.
Hmm. Okay. So you've talked about poetry and you've talked about short stories, both of which are contained within 2020 and 2020.
And
But
there's also essays that are nonfiction, so it has.
yes, I was going to point that out. You're part of your author brand is that you're an eclectic publisher, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that within the author tube circle, I think poetry translation are some of the most little used corners. So I feel like you're attacking the most difficult to, to accomplish and to publish, and because you're just honey badger, right?
Well, yeah. I don't give a damn. In terms of translating the pieces, each area presented different problems and different challenges. Translating poetry, it's not apples to apples. It's never going to be apples to apples. And when I work a translation in my day job or in the work that I publish, I always try to focus more on the message rather than, I don't need it to be literally the equivalent. I need the same message to be delivered or the same feeling to be delivered. Feeling, that's when we go into poetic territory. That means that if it's an ABAB rhyme in English, I'm not going to hold myself to that same standard in Spanish, because just looking for stuff that rhymes for the sake of rhyming. And, I want people to receive the message that I'm trying to capture. If the trip is for it to have alliteration or to have, consonant rhyme, assonant rhyme, or whatever, or a rhyme scheme, then I'll have to push myself a bit more. But that's not the point with most of my poetry. Most of my poetry is just trying to capture a feeling, a thought, or an emotion, like a lightning in a bottle. That's why I'm so proud of the poem that's won me most awards and the most accolades. Is something that I wrote literally in about 6 minutes, and I was telling people, wait, 1 damn minute.
Yeah.
We got to go, and I'm like, not right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Inspiration is striking. You cannot uproot me from this spot.
Yeah, and you gotta be. My capture tool was I always carry a pen nearby, and I didn't have paper, which is something that is rare for me, because I normally have a little notebook, or I even have scrap pieces of paper in my wallet or my back pocket. Literally, I would take a piece of paper, fold it in four, um, like tear it up so that I have four little pieces of paper, and I
Quarters.
would I would carry that around. And I don't do that anymore, but I have known to do that, and I've known to write stuff on business cards and anything that I can write, not my hand, because if you perspire, you're screwed.
Not like
Plus, the
Memento? That you're not gonna write on your stuff like Memento and, like, find it later?
no, no, never gonna do that. I will never commit my words to my skin either. It's no.
That sounds a little weird, but okay. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw I did a little bit of stories of when JD was on the channel before, and he just brought up the fact that he gets inspired somewhere and he has like a strategy about how to capture that inspiration, his capture tool, right? His little quartos of paper. It happened when this is my banner to remind people that you can even be inspired and start the germ of a great story on a flight simulator in an amusement park.
Ah, yes.
That was a great story.
Um, okay. So
So I'll pop that up because we had a
yeah,
fun time talking about that. But go ahead and
I don't have the notebook with me. One of the best gifts that I've ever gotten was from my wonderful wife, the captain. It is a notebook. She once asked me, "So what's a picture that means a lot to you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And then she kind of prodded, and I had no idea that this could be a birthday gift because
unsuspecting JD.
Dan,
We're always plotting.
there's a carnival in my brain, so I didn't have the foresight to go like, oh, this is gonna be a gift, and I was like, and I didn't bat an eye. I was like, you know what? The picture for the single for "Given to Fly" by Pearl Jam. That's my favorite song, and I've always found that image, which was taken by the bass player Jeff Ament, if I'm not mistaken. It's "Given to Fly" is my favorite song by Pearl Jam, and so basically we went. It wasn't on our honeymoon. It was on no, it was on our honeymoon. I think it was on a trip to Epcot. We went to that park, which a lot of people go like, "Oh, Epcot sucks," and I'm like, "I love that park." First
Yeah.
off, there's alcohol. Second off, there's a lot of cool rides. Third off, I'd never been to the ride Soarin', and we went on that ride. It's a flight simulator, as if you're in a paraglider that starts in Orlando and finishes in Anaheim, California, and you cross in different places and whatnot, and then you cross like an orchard, and you get the scent of oranges and the scent of pine and different scents like that while you're in this experience. I didn't even know what the ride was about, so I went into this blind, and it's about 2.5 to 3 minutes long, and it is a beautiful ride. I will always go. I will always enjoy
Delicious?
it. Yes, it is the most delicious part. I can speak to that as well.
Okay.
The food festival, plus the best food and the best park food is there, with the
Really?
exception of, well, Harry Potter and the Wizarding
Sure.
World has some good things to contribute. I'm straying, and that happens a lot. So I get off the ride, and I'm like overcome with emotion, because during that ride I had been trying to figure out what to do with this gift with my from my wife. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna write about? Blah 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 blah.
Notebook.
I'm seeing all this, and it was just like a very very lucid moment of seeing like the entire plot of a young boy who moves to a house, and near the house there's another house that's on a tree, and it's sitting on its side, and he goes on an adventure, and his biggest dream is to fly, and he meets the owner of Odd Manor, which is the house that's on its side, whose name is Fayed Oddstein. And Fayed is like, oh, so you want to fly? Let's see what we can do about it. So they visit different rooms in the house, trying to help the kid learn how to fly.
Mm.
And what they end up doing is finding a lot of sensations that are like flying. No drugs. Uh, but if you've ever had that umami moment where you take a bite of something that just transcends your senses, and you're like, levitating from how delicious it is,
Yeah.
we explore that, and music and little other details that you feel like you're floating. It was a lot of fun, and I wanted to write that for the longest time, and I had the idea from A to Z of the entire plot, and then I'm like crying, and my wife is like, "What the hell is going on?" And then I tell her, and I'm like, "I have the idea." So that's that. The most intense moment I've had of inspiration was with that work. It's
Nice.
not something that evolved; it's just something that landed, and it was just gorgeous, a gorgeous
Further,
moment. And from concept to writing to editing to the cover and everything just flowed a very, very wonderful way.
nice. Further proving my theory that like inspiration comes from good food, right? Joe saying sitting in the park with a Guinness in his hand at 7 a.m. That's questionable to me, but okay. Mama Maggie saying Epcot was amazing. I love the Living Sea Aquarium. Nice.
And the Living Sea Aquarium in that area is where they have the best like cafeteria food that you can
Mm,
find in any of the parks. For my money, that's your best. You can get like a salad with ahi tuna that is just
nice. Nice. So you're talking about the Disney World complex. Like I used to think about the Smithsonian complex because all the museums had their own cafeteria. And so when I lived in DC and went around the mall to the museums, they're all free. And so it was just like a matter of which has the best food, where do I want to go, where do I want to take my friends visiting or whatever. So
Mhm.
hey, yeah, I get it. I get it. Um we're talking about the last point, which was the what do you write your stuff down on? And Joe is saying, go to CVS, just buy a pack of gum, you'll get a yard of receipts. There you go. Very funny. Very funny.
Very true.
What about an artifact we talked about? So you mentioned the fact that when you are researching a project, you have like an info dump document. How are those doing now? How have those grown since like a year ago when we talked about this? A year and
The
a
thing
half.
is that I have info dump documents for each of my projects, so it's not like it's constantly growing. I basically rummage the internet for random inspiration. How random depends on the project, and
Shake
depends.
shake the change from its pockets.
Yeah, everything from herbology to architecture to Greek mythology,
Remind me what
to
herbology is.
just the study of plants. And
Oh, oh, herbology. Okay,
there's
I
a
heard a P
there's
instead of a B, and so I was thinking it was like worms or something.
no
That's, yeah, got it.
herbology.
Okay, got it.
Um, that constellations, different sorts of mythology, and anything that can spark an idea. So basically, if I ever get stuck in one of these projects, what I do in this document is that I scroll up and I scroll down, I scroll up and I scroll down, and I count to like 10, and then wherever I stop, I start reading. If I see something that catches my attention, I copy and paste it to a clean document so I can read it alone. So basically, I have 200 pages worth of random shit,
Wow. Yep.
and from there I extract like a paragraph, and from that paragraph I can get like a line, and that line feeds the idea that it's almost like the concept of a key log. If you anyone who knows about logging, when they transport logs downriver, you can get like a jam. And what normally happens is that there's one damn log that you have to move for the thing to just release and keep flowing.
Okay.
So very often that single idea will help me just prod things over, and it's like whoosh, and then we keep on going. That happens a lot with a lot of my projects.
Hmm.
It's like,
Like,
I'm not sure where to go. And then I have these documents with shitload of information, and then I just find something. I go like, this is an interesting nugget that has no other purpose than to serve me, and
interesting.
I make it serve me.
Yeah, so I keep most of my information in bookmarks, and then they just say on the pages. So I have to have internet to access it. I don't copy and paste and put it in a document, um, because then I lose the source. And if the source changes, like for history stuff at least, then I can't verify that it's true. So
A lot of information, since the work that I do those documents for is urban fantasy. If it's not factual, it's
yeah,
fucking fine.
right.
So I've had the instance where what I copied one year is not available another year because Wikipedia is open source and anyone can
Right.
edit it and yada 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 yada.
Right.
So there's been information that I found that I can't find again, but it served its purpose in terms of helping me, sculpt the background or the world or the subworld or the mid world or the mid dimension that I want to explore.
Nice.
Other stuff I am a bit more, you know, I didn't do anything for in the human cycle for Shadow of a Human. I wanted to base that one more on the psyche, but I wanted to explore the protagonist Nathaniel's aspects of his inner child.
There's vampires in it.
Yeah,
Just in case anyone is wondering.
vampires
Yes.
that don't sparkle, but Nathaniel is a human.
Yes.
So in part of the issue is that in Only Human he ends up and he's like, almost invincible, and I wanted the powers that he acquired to have a cost, and the cost is that in book 2 he's barely holding on by a thread because it's just too much that he's handling.
Mhm.
And his psyche gets splintered. So basically, he has to reconcile with his inner child. He has to reconcile with his female anima, and he has to reconcile with his shadow self. All three.
Nice. Sounds
Um,
so good. And you have 2 that are on the poster behind you, and there's gonna be more. How many
there,
more?
there's one more. I am
Okay.
working on it. I'm organizing myself to focus on one project rather than what I normally do, which is work on several things, and then I get an idea and it's shiny and it's wonderful and it's sexy, and I start jotting down ideas and I get distracted. So last year I had 27 projects open. Now I've been able to publish 3 of those. So that's 24, and I'm about to finish 2 more. So eventually I'll get to my teens in
There you
terms
go.
of
You're like
ideas.
Benjamin Button of publishing.
Jesus Christ. Every time I see the list, I go like, oh, dude. And then I have ideas for other stuff that I want to get to.
Yeah.
But it's just about getting organized and being.
I thought that would press Maggie's buttons. Love
Mm.
broken heroes. Yeah.
The thing is that Nathaniel is kind of whiny, and I wanted to add another aspect to
Whiny vampire? Gosh, can't imagine one of those.
Nathaniel's the human. Daniel is the vampire,
Oh,
and the explorations that I do with vampires in general is that not everyone has the same powers, not everyone has the same strength
mm,
across the board. The concept is that all living beings have cardinal points that can be released. Think pressure points.
okay.
If you and the difference between vampires and humans is that vampires live longer, so they have longer to discover these abilities. But everyone has the potential to discover and exploit their potential in
Hmm,
in general.
okay.
Um, so if we all lived the same exact time, we could have the same abilities. It's just that humans died too quick.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a song that I've been running to that says something about like we're only here for a short bit. I can't remember what song it is, but yeah. We also had something very exciting happen recently, which is you went to a certain Comic-Con. You want to
Ah,
tell us like how that fits into your author journey?
so I am Puerto Rican. Hablo español, y cuando digo que hablo español, hablo puertorriqueño. That means that I speak Puerto Rican more than I speak Spanish. And you just need to talk to anyone else from a Spanish speaking country to realize how Puerto Rican you are.
Mm,
They go like, I didn't understand half of what you said. So the Puerto Rico Comic Con was a couple of weeks back. It's the first time that I was able to go since 2019. Super
woohoo.
poorly planned. A lot of last minute adjustments. It was very touch and go, and I knew that I was going to be in the event for sure, for certain, on Tuesday of the week of the event, because the preceding week, which was we were originally traveling, there was a island wide blackout, obviously, for like 3 days, and we stay with my in laws, so no water and no power and 2 extra people. That's bad math.
Yeah.
Um, so I was able to go again, poorly planned, poorly organized. I was like, I'll sell what I can sell, and it's the most books I've ever sold.
Yeah. That was
So
pretty exciting. You had a
it,
graphic that was very what is the word? Not devastating. Inspirational in some capacity, which was you had all your books lined up and you had all the X'd out things that you ran out of copies of. And I was like,
yeah,
what? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I was one copy short of running out of rhymes from the Wicked Nursery. You know why
Yeah.
I didn't sell out? It's a very interesting tidbit. I've been going to the Puerto Rico Comic Con as an author since 2014. The only, obviously 2020 there wasn't an event. 2021 there wasn't an event. The only year that I didn't go was 2018. Mom was in and out of chemo, and she was having a very hard time, and I was just not in a good mindset
Right.
to have an exhibit. I did go as a spectator, and I had a blast.
Mm.
But I was like, there's no way I can do this. So I've been there quite a few times, and there are people I don't know how many kids I've seen graduate from high school, graduate from college, get married, have kids, and it's
Since
like,
they were your readers, like
yeah,
like
it's
grow
like
up. Yeah.
I'm bringing you my child, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I remember.
You're like, how old am I? What?
No, it definitely explains the crow's legs and the gray hairs and the thinning hair. But it is very sweet because I do keep in touch with a lot of people throughout the year. So I saved a copy for someone who I knew was gonna come, and it was Sunday, and it was nearing time of the
Oh,
event ending, and
yeah.
I hadn't seen her, and I'm like, fuck, where is she? She finally shows up. Obviously, she was in cosplay. Obviously, she was watching the Kevin Smith chat.
Wow.
The thing is that I'll get to that soon. So I'm like, these are the books. What are the new ones? Blah blah blah. Here you go. Here are the new ones. And she's had a rough time the last couple of months, like a lot of people, for different reasons. We didn't get into specifics because it's not the place to get into specifics.
Right.
But she took Ballads of Hope and Joy because she needed a pick me up rather than something creepy and messed up.
Right.
So she didn't take the book that I saved exclusively for her, but she took another book, which is, All Sorts of Happy Problems. And
Right.
that's why I didn't sell out of that one. And it is the best reason not to sell out of a book. It's like, I didn't sell
Yeah.
out of this title because I sold another book to someone that I care about.
There you go.
And for the right reasons. It's like, I need something that's like a pick me up because I've had a rough go, and I'm like, read it, see if it's a right fit, and if it's a right fit, go for it.
Nice.
And it was a right fit.
Good deal.
So it was great, and I met from Tazas y Portadas. I've met so many authors from the island that we've been in contact with, and I met so many in person during the event. I lost count. It's at least 12 people. Either that or business owners or stuff like that, and a lot of love, a lot of good vibes. What I was gonna say before that I'm saving until now is that, unlike the US, Puerto Rico doesn't have many events like the Puerto Rico Comic Con. So it's a big deal.
Right.
So when you go, it's a big deal.
And JD is a big deal.
Well, the thing is that it wasn't in the corner because I wasn't on that side of the aisle. If not, I would have been in the corner of the exhibitor hall. But I was way far behind. And even so, sold the most books that I had. It was a great spot because I could actually have a conversation without going hoarse.
Yeah. Yeah. Convention life. Hashtag convention life.
I remember one event. There's two events where I by the end of it I'd lost my voice, and another one where I ended up super hoarse. The one that I ended up super hoarse was because I had like a hour and a half long conversation with someone that wanted to tell me how to write vampires.
Oh
And he
no.
disagreed.
Oh no.
I did a blog post about that called the Maxwell Challenge, and the thing is that from starting like intense debate to gaining that person's respect because they respected my perspective.
Oh, wait. Didn't you just have an initiative about passing on knowledge about writing that you were sharing with people in the education field, which some in the chat may or may not want to take advantage of? Jenna, do you want to talk to us about the thing that you just featured on Instagram? I don't
Okay.
have a banner for that, so just
No worries. A fellow author from Puerto Rico, Juan Dicel Torres, she's actually a professor in the States. She has a class of students that are learning Spanish as a second language, and they do cover a lot of literature and
fingers perked up.
literature and just writing stuff in general. So she's like, would you be interested in making a class? And I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And from not being sure what to do to drafting an outline and making sure it was okay to her, a 40-minute video of JD Estrada on writing came to be.
It's awesome. I just saw the trailer, but it's awesome.
It's not listed publicly because I don't want that to be part of my booktube platform. I have it on YouTube just because of convenience, because it is 40 minutes long, and it doesn't
Right.
fit on any place.
Yeah.
I,
Right.
it's too big for Dropbox. It's too big for Google Drive.
Google Drive. Yeah.
It's
Email.
too big for pretty much anything except Facebook, where I can actually have it hosted for free. And
Yeah.
also, I didn't want to limit myself, so I did use a lot of licensed music and stuff like that for the class. It's not something that I'm making money off of, but it's something that I don't want to publish publicly.
Right.
But it is available for anyone who has a class, or anyone. Hell, if anyone is interested, just write me and I'll send you the link. But
You heard it here. We got exclusive sobriquets and exclusive education opportunities. So there we go. We're just like scooping everybody tonight. By the way, hello, Barrett. Barrett's in the chat, and Colin just joined us. Hello.
So I did that. It's 40 minutes long. I cover from my beginnings in writing poetry, how writing in blogs led to me writing books. I cover short stories, I cover novels, I cover poetry, I cover the bilingual poem of 2020. I cover influences. I talk about why I think it's important to read wide, no matter what genre you write in.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk a lot. It's 40 minutes long. It's chunky, and
Hey, we're at 36 minutes right now. It goes by like that.
But I'm very happy of how it turned out. The idea is to share it with teachers and classes, so that eventually I can have like a sit down or a virtual powwow with the class if they have any questions about the publishing process and whatnot. And just hopefully to get people to stop wondering if they can and just fucking go for it.
Yeah, here we go. Andrea's here saying yo quiero, and Jenna's saying she'll definitely be contacting you. So JD Estrada writer on any platform except TikTok. Definitely get in touch if you're an educator.
I do have the TikTok account. I just haven't started, and I do have like a gimmick that I'm gonna do, but it's a lot of work. And
speaking of gimmicks, okay, so that is like another thing you're doing out of the good of your heart for the people. But the next thing I wanted to ask about was one of the fun things that you alluded to later with a certain prop, Double O Bananas.
So
Is it social media genius, or is it just screwing around? Up to you, the audience, to decide.
It's just me. The first capture of Double O Bananas is from 2014 or 2013, a picture that I took. I always bring snacks to work and whatnot, and I always try to keep the environment light. I can be an intense guy, but I can lighten the mood also. And I want to be more the second than the first, but the first happens. Get some water. So basically, I would tap on a coworker's shoulder, or send her a message via messenger, or send an email like look to your left, and then I would have the banana. So that's the genesis of the idea.
Before Slack was a thing.
Then I got the idea to record a video. So basically, it became like a little Charlie Chaplin tribute, because the rules of every video are the same. I don't speak. You don't know where I'm going to pop out of. Eventually, the banana will appear, and I will finish with a nod. Those are the requirements for a Double O Bananas video.
I'm sorry. Can we have a new hashtag for JD? Hashtag eventually the banana will appear.
It's a lot of people know me because of my banana, and trust me, there are a lot of running banana jokes.
Nice. I'm sure Joe will chime in on that one. That's awesome.
To give you an example of one random thing where I got caught by a coworker while I was recording, because I have done it in offices after work hours.
Oh yeah.
I climbed on a bookshelf. This was so stupid, and I'm just so happy that the bookshelf held my weight and that I didn't get severely injured, because the bookshelf is like 7 feet tall. So it's right next to a column. So I climbed on top of the bookshelf. I set up the camera, and I had to climb down and make sure that I was recording it right.
Mm,
Um, but
good.
it worked to my favor. And then when I was about to pop out, a coworker goes like, "What the hell is going on?" And then I pop out from behind the 7 foot tall bookshelf behind the column, and I go like, "Hi." And she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing one of the bananas videos. Am I is any of me showing on screen?" So she helped me get the shot.
Oh, nice.
She's like,
Nice.
You're good. I'm gonna shut up now."
You're in frame. Go for it.
And so I did it, and that worked. So I have fun, and then I was doing that for fun. And why was I so constant with it? After Hurricane Maria, Mom told me that my nephews were looking forward to every Friday where I would do the video, and that was kind of like a dagger in my heart. I'm like, I got to keep doing it. And I know they've grown up now, but I'll never grow up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So you say Charlie Chaplin, but the spy thing makes me think more of like Mr. Bean or like a spy series. Do you have a favorite spy series? That was going to be my like just random question.
My
In
favorite
media.
spy series has to be Austin Powers more than James Bond.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's
And
okay. I can see Austin Powers as an inspiration.
I
Good.
did have a big Austin Powers kick when in my teens, like a big, like, dude, shut the hell up. It's
A
like,
big
yeah,
Austin
baby.
Powers what?
Huh?
Kick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You went on a kick. Okay.
I watched it quite a few times. I was quoting it a lot. It
I
wasn't
mean,
as
did
bad
it
as
have
with
big teeth?
no, it was just me doing the yeah, baby, and do I get you horny and stuff like that? Because when you're
Yeah.
a teenager,
Right.
obviously.
Right.
Um, it wasn't as bad as when I watched Ace Ventura because that really when everyone around you is like, dude, stop making faces. You get the message.
Yes. Okay, so that's the for fun, which is on social media. My social media question was about this thing you do in March that takes an immense amount of work. And they're like, why are you so devoted to it? And how do you manage to get it done? Tell us all about March of the Writers.
I got all the prompts done for March of the Writers. It's something that
Woo!
I'd seen other people do it. And a couple of years back, I participated in an Author Life Month for February,
Mhm.
and I had a lot of fun with it. And I was like, I want to do my own and just give it a shot. Um, and the thing is that from year to year, you want to change it, or I want to change it. I don't want to
Yeah.
repeat prompts and stuff like that. And there are some things that repeat, and other stuff that people go so apeshit over that you have to repeat. I always enjoy the prompts inviting people to share their bookmarks or their favorite
Oh, yeah.
bookmarks.
That's an easy one.
So
Easy.
that, but um, it was born because someone else was doing it. I had a blast doing it. I don't know why I subject myself to that because it's a lot of work. For next year, I
Another
will.
exclusive. I feel another exclusive coming. What's
No,
happening next
no, it's not. It's not an exclusive. It's just that I will be probably working on the prompts and what the post this year, so that I'm not rushing and
year?
having to do so many things because this year was crazy. Um, I was able to have like 2 or 3 prompts ahead of schedule, and then I was behind the ball
Yeah.
constantly. And I was like, I got
Yeah.
to do the post, and then I had to think about my own prompts and what the hell am I gonna do?
Keep
It's not
digging.
like
Keep digging that hole. Like,
again, it's not something I recommend doing. It's something that I did because also I've met quite a few people because of March of the Writers that have been wonderful additions to my life, and just really cool people that connected for different reasons. The thing is that when I work in social media, I try to do my thing in each platform. I haven't done TikTok because I haven't found the way to do my thing
right, right.
rather than copying everything else. Um,
You mentioned, yes, because you mentioned in a previous video, previously on JD Estrada on the internet, that David Bowie is an influence because no matter what platform or medium he was in, you could tell it was his artistic expression. And that's sort of like your guiding force for no matter where you are. Does it have the JD Estrada twinkle, like
if if it doesn't have the twinkle, I'm not gonna do it. If it doesn't, what I'm proud of my work, yeah, there's areas of opportunity. Sure, there's stuff that I could have edited or made the writing tighter, etc. But if you read any of my poetry collections, any of my books, etc., and you know me and you've seen any of my chats, if you've had a conversation with me, you're gonna know it's me.
Yeah.
And to me, that's very important because
Can verify, can concur.
beyond style, when I speak about having your own voice, it's also substance and content, and there's a lot of recurring themes throughout my work. Manners are always something that I talk about, and it's curious because I try to have good manners, but I I have a potty mouth. So, and if I have to speed and I have to
That's a Venn
switch,
diagram. I mean, that's there's some overlap there, but not the whole. I
yeah,
get
but
it.
I try to open the doors for people, and when I say people, I don't mean women. I mean people. If someone is coming, I hold the damn door. I'm not doing it so I can check someone's ass out, which is what some people do, and I go like, that's not you being chivalrous or courteous or even nice. That's you being taking advantage of a POV.
Mm.
And just to try to be helpful and mindful of other people. Sometimes that bites you in the ass, but I'm willing to let it bite me in the ass because I always say that you should define yourself and not let others define your behavior.
Mm.
Some people, it's just a losing equation. No matter how much you invest, you're not going to get anything in return. As long as I have peace of mind, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Some people say, why do you share so much work from other people or post from other people? And I go like, because if you can throw a solid to someone, why not?
Right. And okay, so here's an interesting thing about March of the Writers. Is that like outdated? Should I not do that? Am I living in the 2000s when I do that?
I do not care if kids mind it and it's not fleet. Is
On
that what?
fleek? On fleek? Oh yeah,
On
we're
fleet?
past that. We're past.
Fuck.
No, I was gonna say I was just watching a video by Pages with Paige, AIGE, and she's talking about readathons and was kind of doing a roundup of readathons that were happening on the YouTubes, and she didn't realize that doing a month long would be more work than doing like a 2 weeks, and she was wondering why they just didn't let it run longer. And then someone commented and let her know that it's because you feel a duty to watch all those people who are doing more things and comment on and support. And so like this whole like arena of you're all having fun together, but I'm doing free work, people. Like, why don't you recognize that is a thing, right? And
It's a
so
thing. It's sometimes I feel guilty because I'm not watching someone's videos or stuff like that. But there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so
right.
much energy in the tank. If anyone writes me and asks a question or a favor or for advice, they're always going to get an answer. So, I do my best, but if I didn't watch your videos, not because I don't care, it's because I'm fucking tired and I have
Yeah,
other stuff to do.
exactly. Valid.
Like March of the Writers.
Right. And March of the Writers, I would just point everyone to participate, put it on your calendars for next year, because JD does put things in stories. And like there were sometimes like 30 different things in his stories, and I'd be like, good on you. I can't watch all these.
No,
Recognition.
part of the effort is sharing what people post, because if people take the time to post, I do my best to share and
Right.
to pay it forward, and I also do it because I'm happy to connect people, and it's cool when I see two people that I didn't know, and then I go to their feeds or something, and I see that the people that I link, they're liking each other's stuff and commenting, and they've actually established a relationship. That's always super fun.
Yes.
And for me, I always enjoy when I'm able to connect, cool and like-minded people.
Yeah, super connector. Colin's out here calling us out on Flake. Oh my goddess, older than my kids.
I remember when someone said, "Oh, my favorite band is the All American Rejects," and my kids told me, "Oh Lord, that band is so old."
Oldies. Like
And
you're
I'm
like, no, that's not an old no.
and now I'm like, that's a full 13 years after my favorite bands and the ones that I grew up with. So yeah, thank you.
didn't see your video because I'm effing tired. Something we all need hanging on our walls once in a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jenna, that's a great thing to quote. I have one more little banner up here, which is one of the other little, I shouldn't say little, series that you've devoted your time to just for the fun and for kicks for us all. Peer to peer. It's another outdated saying. There's this thing about old people like us that you highlighted online.
No, I did that last year when the term geriatric millennial came out. I took great offense with that.
I love it.
Recently, I'd seen the term Xennial, XE, and then yeah.
Okay.
Is it Xennial or Xennial?
I would say Xennial because it's highlighting the fact that it's someone who's between Gen X and millennial, like in the overlap small.
The definition that I've seen for that term, I go like, that's exactly it. But that wasn't good enough, and someone had to slap on geriatric on that, and I'm like, you asshole. I took great offense to the point where I did. I've only done 3 videos, but it's just talking about the stuff that when I was growing up.
They're so perfect, though. They're so perfect. Everyone should go look that up because I'm sure they'll find you.
And the thing is that there's stuff that I laugh about, but it's true. Kids think that the save icon is just the save icon, and they don't know where the hell it comes from. It's like floppy disk, and it's like, what is that? And it's like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
That and just other things and technologies that have changed. It's like, I know what the internet sounds like.
Yeah.
It was annoying, and then when you were on the internet, people couldn't pick up the phone because it would drop the line and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just me remarking on all the stuff that I had while growing up. And still, right now there's social media. The thing is that there's been connection for a long time, and I've been chatting with people since I was 15. And I think it used to be, it wasn't as competitive, and it was a lot more about connecting. And now it's like, I have more likes than you, and I'm going to use a filter because I want to be pretty. And it's like, that's psychologically dangerous and damaging. And I don't think you should be doing that, but to each their own.
Take it from the guy who studied psychology.
There are some people, it's a topic this week at my workplace. There's some people that I don't know what they look like because I haven't seen a picture.
Tried to describe collect calls this week.
Oh Lord.
You don't know what they look like.
I don't know what they look like because I haven't seen a picture without a filter for at least 3 years. And that's disturbing, man.
Yeah. Anita saying the internet sound still haunts my name.
It is. No, and the thing is that the instant gratification that people have nowadays, everyone's so spoiled, and they'll pay $7 for a crappy piece of shit coffee, but they won't pay for a book or for music. I'm retaking.
I'm glad you used coffee as an example instead of avocado toast, because as we've discussed, avocado toast is sacred. for millennials.
No, but avocado toast is sacred, but I can see why it is pricey because the price of avocados can fluctuate. Yeah. Coffee is not that expensive. Let's be super honest, and a lot of people are charged because of where they're drinking the coffee at. Some of the best coffees I've had are on in small dingy cafeterias in Puerto Rico, where they give you an espresso shot and a sandwich and a donut for $2. To this day.
Wow.
Obviously they're gonna get my money and a tip. But
should go to Puerto Rico, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, there's. Well, I hope that they're still open. I've lived in Atlanta for 6 years, so.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, the AOL login. Oh Lord.
I don't remember the AOL login making a noise. I just remember the little yellow stick figure that was running, and you'd have to wait for it to
No, I remember that, and I also remember all the promo items. The best coasters that you could get were the AOL CDs, because they would give them around at any corner. No one used them for anything. If you sharpen them, you can use them as ammunition for a disc gun or something like that. For me, AOL always sucked.
We still
It's
have those. Yeah, I still find those in my parents' house when I declutter. So yeah, we got mail. Yep. Ooh, there is a noise. Ben's looking it up.
no, I see
Maybe
cute.
some coffee talk in the comments here. We got Colombian coffee. I don't know. JD is from Puerto Rico, which is a coffee exporting country. So I don't know if we're gonna have like some drop down.
No, Colombia has fantastic coffee, and it just depends on how you like it roasted. I found great coffee from Puerto Rico lately. I can share a picture later. Um, there's good coffee from a lot of places. I will always gravitate towards Puerto Rican coffee just because I'm from Puerto Rico and I want to support the local economy and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, they only have Colombian roast and I'm going to be an ass. Go like, no, it must be from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Um,
We're equal opportunity, eclectic folks. I like it.
I just won't have. Is it Copa Louie? The one that they feed the beans to like meerkats and they poop it out and then they roast it.
You're asking the wrong person.
Or lemurs.
Today I'm a sherry drinker, my friend. Yes.
But
no, I'm normally a tea drinker. I normally join you with the tea, but today I just felt like I'd be May of the Moderns, little fancy.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna say thank you to everyone for joining us on this lovely chat. We're here with 2 authors for May's Patreon book chat. We've got lots of books between us, some more than others, some down below, some in a different language. And what do we have coming up? What is like the next thing you want to direct people to?
The next thing, I don't know. The next thing I'm working on is Vente Vente and other Spanish stuff. And apparently a couple of people are going to contact me for the class. So I guess
there you go. JD Estrada writer on any platform.
I'm also working on a couple of workshops. So when I have those done, I will be screaming to the 4 winds. But until that's done, I'm not going to mention anything else.
That's awesome. Okay. Speaking of workshops, that makes me think of the AuthorTube Writing Conference, whose progenitors we have in the chat, I believe. So that's happening July 15th, 16th, 17th. If you are looking for writing workshops and looking for something free, that's going to be happening July. If you want to give a talk, the deadline is this Sunday to submit a proposal. You visit authortubewritingconference.com and check it out. And
it is very quick. I submitted mine right before our chat. It took me all of 8 minutes.
Because it'll be like the Marquis de Sade and win awards. There you go.
Hopefully.
There you go. Woohoo! So Shannon says, yay. We've got some chat about the drink. So if you weren't here at the beginning, nice. So Andrea needs to taste the Puerto Rico coffee. I'm enjoying some Trader Joe's sherry, otherwise known as Jerez from Spain, but that's because I was trying to be fancy. Colin was asking.
Fancy. If you're looking for Puerto Rican coffee that I would recommend, and Amazon, we don't want to support the Zon, but still it's where you can easily find it. There's Pudge Coffee. Pudge is Ivan Rodriguez, a baseball player from Puerto Rico. He has his own coffee. If you can find that is a great option.
Nice. Sweet. So check out in the description box below where you will find JD to subscribe and talk to him about opportunities. Check out his books. Check out my books. We're all doing different things. I'd love to see you soon. The thing that's coming up for me is tomorrow morning. First SD Houston reading sprints at 7 a.m. my time, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. I don't know. There's people in the world are watching this, so figure it out. And then mine are at 9 a.m. Pacific. So do some stream hopping, and we'll have some fun doing some sprints. That's all. People are still asking about coffee. Obviously, you need to do a coffee talk, JD, just devoted to coffee because everyone's asking for it.
I'm not a coffee snob. I can do a coffee talk though.
I love it. So that's all we have time for. We're gonna wrap it up in an hour. Thank you to everyone for coming by to say hello and ask lovely questions. Appreciate you so much. We've got Cheers Mama Estrada and we've got Devil O Banana. Are you gonna give us the nod? Can we get the nod? There we go. Thanks, everybody.